Good morning, guys. So today is a very anticipated video. I know a lot of people have been hitting me up about, when are you gonna do the review on the Tune. So here it is. It may not be the best video out there. I try to get as much footage as I possibly could to make this video somewhat interesting and somewhat of a reference point to you guys, whether or not you want to buy the Tune or not. So if you guys like this video, hit that like button, comment on any issues or any questions. I will try to answer them. If not, I will contact R&R myself, and definitely subscribe. So I definitely don't want nobody to base any of their opinions on the 250 itself. Again, it is a very slow car. I'm quite sad about that, and it makes me want to cry because everybody beats me on the highway. 250s, absolutely slow cars. They're by no means going to be fast or 10-second cars. So I've kind of given up on trying to make this car fast. But my main thought is to make this car more fun to drive. Before, when I used to drive this car, it was absolute shit. Drive like complete doo-doo. So before you guys bash me about this car is slow, these times are slow, the 0 to 60 is slow, if you didn't notice from the title, it's a 250. A Honda with a B18 is faster than this car. But at the end of the day, it is a great car to me. It really is reliable. I've raged the crap out of these cars, and the Tune just makes it even more fun. Another thing I want to stress: if you guys do have this Tune and you want to test it out, one, please be safe. Don't hurt nobody. Do it in an enclosed space where there's not people around. Please be mindful of all traffic laws and your traffic police in general. It's not something that I want anybody to get hurt. Do not hurt yourself or do not hurt others at all. Alright guys, so we're gonna get into some videos and I'll show you guys, some 0 to 60 timing, kind of. I mean, it ain't really like 0 to 60 timing. And I know I said I wasn't gonna do a 60 to 100, but I tried to get some footage of that. I did try to get it. Unfortunately, I kind of let off at like 90, and somebody was kind of like swerving into the lane but saw me coming, so they kind of swerved back out. So it's not gonna really give you the best time, and it was slow shit anyway, so it's not like it really matters.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Yo, that felt good. That felt good. All right, so right now we are in, I don't know if you can see that, we're in drive right now. I am gonna test it out in drive, and then I'm gonna go back to manual. But as of right now, we're gonna hit drive, and I just want to see how the shifting is like, and see if there's any somewhat difference. There's a whole bunch of cars. Of course, the time I want to drive. Full throttle. Not too bad. I just didn't hit the 7,200 RPM, which I just want to see if it actually does hit. Actually nice, except I don't think it hits that 7,200 RPM. Alright guys, so the fact that we actually hit 100 felt absolutely amazing. Again, it's not the fastest car in the world, but on this tune it feels great. You hit 100 pretty quickly, faster than what you would stock. But other than that, this tune feels absolutely amazing. I know on Instagram I said I wasn't going to push the car that far, but I just had to get the footage for you guys. So make sure hit that subscribe button, because you know I gotcha. With that being said, I'm going to head to work. I'll see you guys in the morning, and we'll talk more into depth about the tune itself. That was crazy. So peace. I'll meet y'all in a bit. Alright guys, so drivability wise, forget about it. This car is absolutely fun to drive. Yes, it is slow. Yes, it's not as fast. It's a very heavy car. You don't, feel it as much as you would on a lighter car or IS250, more horsepower. But again, is it more responsive? It's absolutely 110% more responsive, more fun to drive. Alright guys, so I'm gonna downshift. I just want to see, the quickness of the shift. Now, compared to before, when I used to drive this car, every time I would shift, there would always be a lag. Like I would upshift, and it would wait a second, and then change gears. This definitely does change its gears a lot more quicker. Actually, way more quicker than what it used to. That's just definitely out of the question. It was one of the things that I wanted to check off when I was testing this tune. Another thing that I noticed, in fourth gear, when you're in manual mode, the car used to hit RPMs, right? It used to go to 5,000 RPM and then drop down to maybe 300 more and then go back up. Now it's honestly just straight away. You get straight power all the time, and it feels a lot more responsive. And I feel like I'm gonna keep saying that for like the whole video, because that's mainly one of the reasons why I bought this tune. Before you guys base your opinions on the tune, just keep in mind I have a 250, the slowest model out of the IS family ever to be made. Okay, so I don't want you to look at the 0 to 60 times or the 0 to 60 video or the 60 to 100 video and say, damn, this tune don't really do anything. For your car, it's definitely different, especially if you have a 350 or a 300. Tune is absolutely amazing, very easy to install, as you can see from my video. I love it on this 250. It definitely makes the car more fun to drive. It makes it more lively at the end of the day. So it's not something that will make this car fast, but it is something where I can enjoy this car a lot more. Now, the first thing I did when I put the tune in was testing out that 7,200 RPM. I love that part of the tune. That part is amazing, especially if you have a 350 or 300. You're able to hit that way faster than I am, so you'll probably enjoy it more. But it does take a little while to get to 7,200 RPM, but it is quicker than what it used to be. Now, before, when I had this car, the comparison is night and day. You notice the difference by far. If you didn't have a throttle controller beforehand and you installed this tune, you would definitely notice the differences way more faster than you would if you already had the throttle controller. The Pexi throttle controller kind of took that away from me, because I already knew what it felt like to have throttle response. But with this tune, it's just amplified by 2, and it, rather than being amplified by like 5, it doesn't feel as responsive as it would have if I didn't have a throttle controller, if that makes sense. Now, for the 250, guys, should you get this tune or not? My personal advice, and I'm just gonna let you guys know this early, is get everything done first. I'm talking about intake, exhaust. If you want headers, get headers. All right, so definitely this tune for last. Get everything else done first, and then get the tune. And if you want bags or you want to stanch your car out, spend the money on that first. Get everything. Don't try to make it 250 fast, because it's not going to get there. It's never going to be as fast as you want it. It is going to be fun, though. whatever you want to do, but I just think it should be the last thing you do. So another subscriber had asked me if it works in automatic. Now, does the throttle response work in automatic? Yes, it definitely does. You definitely do get the same throttle response, but you do not get the 7,200 RPM. If you do try to hit 7,200 RPM, it would only work in the manual mode. So these are one of the things that I also want to talk about, which is kind of funky. It's kind of weird. I don't know why it does it, but when I'm in third, and let's say I'm at 6,000 RPM, and like I'm slowing down, I'll downshift into second, and I would kind of gas it, and then for a little millisecond, it'll go and get stuck at 5,000 RPM, and then go, which is kind of funky, but again, I don't know. It's kind of weird. That's my honestly, that's my honest truth. I don't want to give you guys wrong information. I don't think anything's wrong with the transmission because that happened in the beginning. It doesn't really do it as much now. You look past, definitely 110%, because I shift at 7,000 RPM anyway. So I'm not allowing the car to shift for me. I'm shifting for it myself. So my recommendation, if you do have this tune, definitely shift above 7,000 RPM, meaning like, 6,500, 6,000. Even you could even get to 7,000. Get really close, but just don't hit the rev limiter. It's really not good for your engine. That's just my advice. Another thing is, I know they said no pop and bang tunes, but I don't know if it's just the hole in my exhaust, but sometimes, man, if I'm at low RPMs and like I'm pulling to like a stoplight, like this thing would kind of burple and give me like a little bit of a pop here and there, which is crazy. Like, I mean, I definitely do think it's the hole though, because there's no possible way. It never did that before, and now it's starting to do it. And especially after I just come from like off the highway and I've raged the shit out of this car, like it makes that, I don't know what it is, but they definitely do not offer a pop tune for our cars. So for 250s, solely only 250s, is this tune worth it? Hell, effing yes. Again, it's absolutely the best thing I've ever bought for this car. Feels great. It sounds amazing. Everybody gives me compliments, especially when you hit that little RPM rev bouncing limiter thing. It's dope. So, is it fun to drive? Definitely. To them, it is very not necessary. Again, they don't want anything bad to happen to your engines. They are very, very, very keen on anything bad happening to your engine. They want to prove to, obviously, their audience that they're there for performance reasons only. The RR Racing Tune only really works in manual. I drive, and this is my driving preference. This is the way I drive every single day since I've gotten the car. Traction control off, sports mode on, and I throw it a Pexi throttle controller. So again, it really only really does work in manual. The way I drive is a lot different from other people. A lot of people drive in automatic. So everything on the R&R Racing website is as promised. Now, I don't want anybody to think they're false claiming and they're doing this and they're saying this, but they're not proving anything. They have proven a lot of things when it comes to this platform. Now, higher shift points, they're faster shift points. Definitely that 7,200 RPM was promised. As for fuel efficiency, I haven't really checked that. All I know has been eating a lot more gas than usual because I've been flying through the highway. For the 20 plus horsepower, I have no idea about that. But do I believe them? I definitely do, because this was proven on their older IS250 models. Essentially, it's the same engine. And that one actually had carbon buildup issues. So I really don't know what to say about the 20 plus horsepower kind of situation. But does this car feel a lot more better? 110%. So 250, guys, is it worth it? Hell yeah, I definitely think you should get it. Invest it. If you drive in manual, it is something that's worth it. If you drive in automatic and you sometimes drive in manual mode, then I definitely get it. But if you drive in automatic, I think the throttle controller would just do. But if you still want it, you could definitely just get it. 350, guys. 350. I know there's a slight increase in horsepower. You get the 7,200 RPM. You get basically the same thing as you would on the 250. Is it more worth it? I definitely think it is still, with the upgrades added onto it, PPE headers, exhaust, intake. If you have all those things in mind to get, then the Tune may be worth it for you. Especially if you want something with a little bit more spunk, a little bit more throttle response. It is worth it. It is something you should think about getting. But again, if you don't want to go that route of fully modding your engine, getting the headers, getting the exhaust, getting the intake, then you should just get a Apexi throttle controller. It's still worth it. I recommend a Apexi throttle controller. I have no issues with it for 2 years, and I know this is just a Tune review, but I just want to give people the truth and my full honest opinion. I don't want nobody to spend money unnecessarily if they didn't have to, because again, my subscribers, I would think of them as if it was me looking at videos, because I spent a lot of years looking at videos, learning new things, and I don't want nobody to advise me to buy something that I don't need. Now, for 300 guys, should you get this Tune? Hell effing yes, you should get this Tune. For 110%, I don't know why, but you seem to get more horsepower out of a 300 than you would with a 250 or a 350, which is absolutely crazy. Whoever has a 300, you are so lucky, you lucky mother. So, whoever has a 300, you are absolutely should be grateful, because you do get a lot more horsepower out of that car than you would a 250 or 300. Should you get it? Definitely yes, especially if you have the same driving habits with driving in manual, having sports mode on, traction control off, and if you have an Apexi throttle controller, you know, same deal. So again, keep in mind, if you do have your traction control off, please don't drive in the rain. Put it on, keep it on, do not take it off. Keep that in mind. But that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you know, continue to watch. Peace. I feel like a foreign exchange student when I do this. See you guys later.